So far, about $1.7 billion of the over $4 billion allocated to Uganda by the World Bank has been disbursed, raising concerns about whether the country would get the remaining amount. The funding is used to improve health care, agriculture, roads, energy infrastructure and education. The chairperson of the Natural Resources Committee, Honorable Dr. Otala, says in the energy sector, World Bank was scheduled to fund the electricity scale-up project to enhance connectivity to over 1 million Ugandans and so many institutions, but this may never see light of day.
The decision of the World Bank to stop funding new projects ultimately will affect the electricity access scale-up project, which is meant to enhance connectivity of people to the grid, or rather to electricity. Then so many people are going to be affected, because that project was meant to connect 1,100 and about 30, not 1,000, 1,130,000 people and institutions.
Another project going to be affected with the World Bank's decision is the Greater Kampala Metropolitan Urban Development Project. The Committee of National Economy had finalized its investigations, which included field visits to the urban centers going to benefit from the project, and they all agreed that this is a good project that will foster economic development of the country.
Government is acquiring a loan through Parliament. 500 million plus loan from the World Bank, and this loan is specifically to work on infrastructure in the Kampala metropolitan area. This includes Mukono, Wakiso, Chira, and Mpigi. And the purpose is to improve accessibility. And we have to split into two groups. But of course, before approval of this loan, we must do due diligence. We must do oversight and look at some of these roads which are going to be worked on. One thing we must appreciate that specifically for Mukono, Mukono is normally congested. And there's no doubt that if these roads are worked on, Mukono will be decongested. And the people are going to the east, most of them pass through Mukono, but they find it very, very difficult.
The legislators, however, say it is very important for the executive to remain firm on its decision because the country's culture norms cannot be compromised simply because it needs money for the economy to grow. These have urged government to continue with soft diplomacy, but they should make it clear to the funders that they should equally respect the Ugandan culture.
We should tighten up. I only want to appeal to President Museveni not to give up. Ugandans have shown in unison that they are for their values. It's going to be difficult because we know lots of projects are being funded by them. It will be difficult, but we must now go down and reschedule, avoid wasteful expenditures. There's a lot of wasteful expenditure in money disguised to be for defense, but which I know that goes for patronage. In State House, there's a lot of money that really can be saved. Even here at Parliament, we must go now and sit down as Ugandans, face facts. With these restrictions, if we don't go down and replan, the people will suffer. But if we sit down...
I think the best is to continue engaging in soft diplomacy at several levels. But you see, when we were about to pass the anti-homosexuality bill, the president brought this to our attention. And he told us, you people, we are going to pass this bill. I support this bill, but be ready to have even salary cuts. Even your salaries will be cut, because most likely the financial institutions that have always lent us money are going to turn against us, and they will not accept to lend us money.
Come up with an idea of merging some of these government entities all together. There is a lot of duplication. You get these ones are doing the same thing, but it's just in the name of employment. So if this can be customized to fit what we are. We're able to survive. What else do we need out? What?
The projects that are going to be affected.
Which are these projects which are being affected, for example? These are projects put in order to maintain the markets, the industries in Europe. Which are these projects?
These have also appealed for alternative funding like the Islamic banking and exploiting the country's resources prudently to bring about development in the country.
Make the best use of the resources that we have by each one of us detesting corruption and ensuring that we prioritize, we put our money where it will grow the economy, where it will turn the fortunes of this country to something bigger. Like, for example, now we are going into oil and gas production. I hope we can still be in time to begin producing fast oil by 2025. Now, let's invest the proceeds prudently.
Bank, you remember we passed it here in the Parliament. We can sit and see how best we can engage them. But also there is also Chinese. But you know, the African countries have been borrowing from Chinese, and the Chinese have not been good. You remember, sincerely, we are not even certain of our airport. We don't know whether it was taken or what, but I think we'll see it on the floor of the Parliament. So we need to be very careful of where to now to get the money from. We need to go deep in the papers and read which area would be positive in borrowing us money. But we cannot, without borrowing, Uganda as per now cannot stand on its two legs.
According to the World Bank, the Anti-Homosexuality Act is discriminatory in nature, and that is the basis for their suspension of funds to projects in Uganda. Samlanifa, Smart 24 TV, Business Today.